Take us kind of what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's focusing on doing the right thing, taking the.
On a night when the Indiana Fever were already running on fumes, short-handed, beaten down, and clinging desperately to playoff hopes, Lexie Hull delivered the kind of performance that no one saw coming. The kind of night that doesn't just fill up a box score but ignites a crowd, inspires teammates, and creates a story that lingers long after the final buzzer. But as Hull rose to the occasion with the game of her career, the weight of the Fever's season came crashing back down, reminding everyone just how fragile this run has become. It began like a spark in the dark. From the opening tip, Hull looked like a player transformed. The shots that so often rimmed out in quieter performances suddenly snapped through the net with perfect confidence. Her cuts were sharp, her energy relentless, and her determination obvious. With her teammates battered and sidelined, Hull wasn't just filling a role. She was rewriting her place on this team. She scored 18 points by halftime, her shots falling in rhythm, her backdoor cuts slicing through Minnesota's defense. The Fever for once looked alive, fueled by Hull's courage to step forward. By the end of the night, Hull had dropped a career-high 23 points, playing nearly 37 exhausting minutes, hitting 9 of 16 shots, and splashing 4 of 7 from three-point range. But numbers only tell half the story. What mattered was how she got them. She refused to be one-dimensional, mixing catch-and-shoot threes with drives, rebounds, and relentless movement that left defenders chasing air. When Indiana needed someone to lead, she didn't hesitate. For a moment, the Fever looked like a team that could defy their circumstances. And yet, even
It's going to be an exciting season. I think more than anything,
and as Hull's star rose, the cracks around her deepened. Because while Indiana rode her hot hand through the first half, their roster was quietly crumbling in real time. Already missing Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Sydney Colson, and Ari McDonald. 4 key rotation players gone with season-altering injuries. The Fever were forced to adjust on the fly yet again. On this night, things got worse. Just before tip-off, Chloe Bibby was held out with knee soreness, and by the fourth quarter, Odyssey Sims had to leave the floor with an injury of her own. 6 players now unavailable, gone from the rotation, leaving a roster so thin it barely resembled the one that started this season. The weight fell on the shoulders of whoever was left standing. That meant Hull, that meant Kelsey Mitchell, and that meant Aaliyah Boston fighting through fatigue and defensive mismatches. It even meant newcomers like Shea Petty, signed on a hardship contract, being thrown into live action with barely any time to learn.
I got to my spots and she can find anyone pretty much anywhere, so I knew
the system. This was survival basketball, patched together with grit, heart, and hope. But survival can only last so long. For 2 quarters, Indiana fought like they belonged. Hull and Mitchell traded big shots. The bench erupted after every make, and fans watching could sense it. This wasn't a team ready to fold. Mitchell especially carried herself like the franchise cornerstone she's become. Fresh off being honored by her teammates with MVP Kelsey shirts before the game, she delivered again, scoring 27 points, hitting 5 threes, and adding 5 assists. Her scoring was the engine that kept the Fever in the fight, her presence commanding respect from Minnesota's defense on every possession. Beside her, Boston chipped in with steady play inside, posting 15 points and 6 rebounds, anchoring the paint even as she battled constant double teams. Even the unexpected heroes played their part. Shea Petty, who had barely unpacked her bags, knocked down 3 threes in her Fever debut, giving Indiana a brief burst of offense. For a stretch, it all felt possible. Hull's confidence spread across the roster, Mitchell's fire kept the scoreboard close, and the Fever's bench fed on the energy of a team that, against all odds, looked ready to steal one. But then
balance compared to defensive rebounds, I'm like, we missed. You know, just like small stuff.
Then came the third quarter. Minnesota adjusted. Indiana did not, and in a span of minutes, the game turned into something else entirely. The Lynx outscored the Fever 32-7 in that quarter alone, flipping the game upside down. Suddenly, the first half magic was gone, replaced by tired legs, sloppy turnovers, and defensive breakdowns. Indiana's rotation slowed, their spacing collapsed, offensive possessions ended in rushed jumpers or no shot at all, while Minnesota feasted on second chance opportunities and rhythm threes. It wasn't just a run, it was a dismantling. This wasn't new for Indiana, fans had seen it before. The Fever shining early, only to collapse after halftime. Opponents adjust, and Indiana struggles to respond. Once again,
6 to 9 run in a matter of a few minutes, spread out, but it's making those runs smaller and shorter.
Questions turned to head coach Stephanie White. Why hadn't there been changes to coverages, to matchups, to strategy? Why did the same script repeat itself week after week? White herself admitted afterward that personnel breakdowns and turnovers doomed them, pointing to the challenge of integrating new point guards on the fly. And yes, the roster chaos is real. It's hard to execute adjustments when your team is essentially stitched together mid-season, but the frustration remains. Fans are tired of watching promising first halves unravel into disaster after the break, and the cost of those collapses grows heavier with each passing game. Indiana's place in the standings is perilous. Sitting in 6th, they're barely ahead of the pack, only a half game above 7th and a game and a half away from 9th, the dreaded zone outside the playoffs. Every loss chips away at their margin of error. Every injury feels like a body blow to their chances. They are clinging to a playoff berth, but the rope is fraying fast. That's why Lexie Hull's performance mattered so much in a season where the Fever have been defined by absences.
Say this now because it's over. That back-to-back, I'm still recovering, so.
And what they don't have. Hull gave a glimpse of what they might be if pieces could actually stay together. She showed she could be more than a role player. She showed she could carry responsibility, hunt her own shots, and lift her team when everything else is falling apart. For once, fans could look at the Fever and see not just survival, but possibility. Still, possibility doesn't win games. And in the end, Indiana's resilience was overshadowed by frustration. Hull's 23, Mitchell's 27, Boston's steady. Hand and Petty's spark weren't enough to overcome 6 missing players, a collapsing rotation, and a third quarter storm that they had no answer for. What could have been a season-defining upset instead became another chapter in a year defined by near misses and what-ifs. So now, the Fever face the same question they've faced all season. Are they a team undone by bad luck and brutal?
I mean, it's fun. You know, we worked really hard to get here, and just happy with
injuries, or are they a group whose coaching and adjustments simply aren't keeping pace? Should fans point fingers at the sideline, or simply accept that no roster could withstand this kind of damage? That debate rages on, and the answers aren't easy. But what is clear is that amid all the doubt and disappointment, Lexie Hull gave Indiana something else, a reason to believe, a reason to see a future in which this team isn't just scraping by, but thriving. Her career night reminded everyone that hidden within this battered roster are pieces worth building around. She didn't just score 23 points. She showed what belief looks like when you wear it on your sleeve, when you play like the game depends on you, and when you refuse to let the circumstances define you. The Fever now prepare to face Minnesota again with their season hanging in the balance. And while the injuries, the collapses, and the doubts remain, there's one thing fans won't forget. Lexie Hull didn't hold back. She gave them hope, even if just for a night. So I'll leave you with this. Do you believe the Fever's struggles are about coaching and missed adjustments, or are they simply too injured to be judged fairly? And after this performance, do you think Lexie Hull has earned a bigger role moving forward? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you support Lexie and the Fever, drop a Lexie show down there too. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a moment of the drama unfolding this season.